Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
From a championship backfield to your morning drive.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
You're locked in to Off the Bench.
Flynn is back to throw from the end zone. Boom!
Live from the Raising Cane's studio, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
To OTB here live from Mobile, Alabama, as we are here for the 2026 Panini Senior Bowl. Our trip brought to you by First American Bank and Trust. Here on location in Mobile, Jake Flynn and Alondra, Jordan and Tay back in the Raising Cane's studio. And I know, even though we're not there, I know it is freezing cold in Baton Rouge. I believe it's 21 degrees on your commute to school and work today. Don't worry, it's 24 degrees here in Mobile, Alabama. So we are in the pain, in the elements with you, and we're really going to be in the elements later on today when we go to practice. But at least we're cozy inside here today.
There you go.
I was
You didn't want to
keep you off.
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, I'm fine with it if you want. We're still waking up a little bit. Yeah, we are. We're here. Mobile is very cold. It's not as windy as it was yesterday. Yesterday, coming off the bay here, because this hotel or the convention center that we're at is right on the bay. A lot of ships being built around here, and
Carnival cruises going by.
It was real windy. I don't care how tough you are, what part of the country you're from. That wind will get you. And
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure. It was hitting us right in the face. There was a player. There's two players I saw in shorts yesterday, and they were both from Iowa. They were Hawkeyes.
Jennings Dunker.
Yeah, and he looks like a Jennings Dunker.
If you get a chance, watch him in practice. I'll be eyes on him. He's probably the most impressive, physically impressive guy I saw yesterday.
Imagine like a refrigerator with a red mullet.
Yeah, beautiful red mullet, too.
Beautiful red mullet. It's like an Auburn mullet.
Oh, it's great. Had shorts on.
Yeah.
Not even good shorts either.
Yeah. I don't even know how good of a player he really is.
He's great.
But draft him.
He's great.
I mean, he looks the part. So
yeah, but we're here. And look, this morning, I know listeners, y'all probably were worried about it since yesterday. We got coffee. Coffee before the show started. I even got 2 coffees. So yeah, we're good to go. Yesterday was a little bit of a train wreck when it came to coffee, but we're here.
Yeah, we both got distracted multiple times from thinking coffee was being set out. They didn't have it. They have it this morning, but I brought coffee just in case.
Thank you.
You have hotel coffee.
Yep.
It looks like just in case.
Yep.
So we're okay. We're going to be fully caffeinated and ready to go for the next 3 hours.
We're going to fully caffeinate. We're right here. We are on Radio Row at the Mobile Convention Center, right next to the entrance. We just saw all the players filing in. They're headed behind the black curtain here, headed to meetings. And, we talked to some of the coaches yesterday. They have, I think, a combined of 9 hours of meeting time this week, which you're like, oh, that's a lot of meeting time. That is not a lot of meeting time at all. You think about
I'm trying to think like in a normal week. I mean, 20 minimum.
Well, you think about, let's just say it's the meetings start today. They probably started yesterday. Let's just say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's a little over 2 hours a day. That is not a lot of meeting time, especially when you're trying to learn a new offense. So it truly is about the physical skill set of all these players, the one-on-one battles, what happens in practice. When you get 9 hours of practice or 9 hours of meetings and I think 8 hours on the field, 7 or 8 hours on the field throughout a week, it truly is about the practices. The game is fun. It doesn't really matter as far as an evaluation standpoint. Yeah. They are going to get their evaluation will start today.
Yes.
When practices start, because if you can't learn the offense or you might mess up, you go in, so you should have gone out, you zigged when you should have zagged. Yeah. Quarterback misses a read or couldn't remember what the protection adjustment call was, whatever. Yeah. But like these quarterbacks, these receivers, these linemen, these DBs, their evaluation starts today. And we are fired up. There will be 2 practices this afternoon. Of course, hopefully it'll warm up a little bit. Yesterday would have been a quarterback's nightmare with cold weathers, but the wind. the wind just cutting through.
Yeah, you were talking about that yesterday. So for our listeners, because I think it was a mistake, but y'all never let me throw a halfback pass in a game.
Sure.
So I'm going to throw it to you. You said yesterday as we were walking back from lunch, you said this is a quarterback's worst nightmare. Like, why is that?
Well, I mean, just wind in general, right? You have to throw the ball a little bit different. You have to grip the ball a little bit different. Your pre-pass position has to be a little different because you want that nose to be pointed down a little bit when you're throwing in the wind so it can cut through. Normally, if you're a right-handed passer, if you throw a perfect spiral, it's going to be nose up and pointed to the right a little bit. I remember as a kid when I was training like the right mechanics, I used to throw at a basketball goal. So you have the orange square.
Right.
So the goal was, as a right-handed quarterback, if you hit the top right corner of the orange square, it'll go in every time with a good spiral because it's like. And that creates a nose-up pass, creates a really soft pass to catch. Nose-down passes, if you see like these nose-down quarterbacks, it's harder passes to catch. And like most of the times with a nose-down quarterback, your completion percentage will be lower.
Yeah, the ball's always kind of going away from you, it feels like, as a receiver.
Yeah, and you got to think, like, if you have to, like, drop your hands to catch the nose down, if you're catching it up, it's just a softer pass to catch. Well, in the wind, you have to cut a little bit more through the wind, so you have to try to get that nose down a little bit, which makes it a harder pass to throw, and it's hard to cut through the wind. It's hard to do that, and it's harder pass to catch as well. But then, like with the cold air as well, it dries out your hands, so you're constantly like licking your fingers. You know, we used to see Drew Brees like in the dome doing it, but you have to do it. Hand warmers are essential because they create this little oven. Yeah. If you do it right with the hand warmers, you got to keep your hand warmers. It creates a little sweat right in your hands. Little tack. You have to do that. And it's really, of course, to keep your hands warm, but really to keep them wet a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I didn't want to say moist.
You didn't want to say
didn't want to say moist. I was like,
it's okay,
it's
bud.
too early.
It's okay. That's what you wanted to say. Yeah, that
keeps it moist.
That didn't feel like a lot. I mean, I feel just 7 things to try to keep your hand in the right state of mind.
I know, but it's but yeah, it's so the cold and the wind makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
But
and
the wind is dead. Yeah, the trees.
I would say. I mean, I'm looking. I don't know if you can see that shadow there, sir, on that building right there. That flag is whipping pretty good.
Well, you know, we're on the bay. Stadium's not near the bay. But I'm looking at the tips of these trees. We're good.
Yeah, and you know, the whole reason we're obviously rooting for our guy Garrett Nussmeier, so it's you know why we're paying attention to that.
I don't know if we're going to get him on the show today or what day of the week we'll get him on. We'll certainly have Garrett Nussmeier on the show this week. We ran into him yesterday leaving the convention center. He seemed like he was in good spirits, ready to roll.
He's probably, and Drew Fabianich, the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl, is going to join us at 7:30. That's at least the plan right now. And I'll ask him this question because, like, the buzz around this game, even before we got here, but certainly since we've been here, is no player has more to gain than Garrett Nussmeier with a good week here in Mobile. The quarterback class is not very deep. He is somebody that certainly has the talent to be, you know, I don't know where the range is, maybe top 90 pick. He certainly, before the year, we were talking about him as a potential top.
Yeah, before the year, it's like, all right, if he has a bad year, second, third round, good year, we're looking at the number one guy, right?
Yes. So, like, that's there. And so teams still remember that. They talk about it. They're like, yeah, okay, the tape, but, like, we have to take in the totality of everything. Offensive coordinator got fired. Head coach got fired. Like, the offense was not clicking when the backup came in.
Yep.
All right.
Playing with some injury.
Playing through an injury that everybody knew about and knows how hard it is to throw the ball. So, and those aren't excuses. Those are just, I'm telling you, that's how scouts have told me they are evaluating Garrett Nussmeier. And then we go back to the junior tape. There's a lot of good in there. Right. And the scout that I was talking to said every team's going to think they can get that good out.
Yeah.
Just like, look, I mean, every head coach, like when there's a first-round pick that doesn't work out somewhere, that coach is like, oh, if I had him, like, he'd be a Pro Bowler. Like, I can get that. Well, not that means anything anymore, but I can get that guy to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
There's going to be coaches that think, oh, I can get junior year Nussmeier because he was in a bad system, right? He's going to be healthy, I can get that out of him, and they're going to take him if he has a good week here in Mobile.
Well, most coaches in the NFL are former players, and if there's anything you know about former players, they're pretty cocky. So they think
I would say we all have an ego, but you have to have one.
Yeah, you have to have it.
To be a professional football player.
Yeah, and if there's any question, because everything was pretty mum about that Garrett Nussmeier injury. Is like, what exactly was it? What, like, I remember in training camp, the knee got hit or rolled up on. He's got a knee brace on. My God, season's over. Maybe. A little foreshadowing there. I don't know.
Reporting on that one.
And then the oblique situation,
and that's the one.
What is that? Like, there was never really details or specifics, at least that I heard, that were what is it? How do you fix it? What is it really affecting? Well, we saw it. We saw what it affected. It affected his mechanics. It affected the amount of torque that he could put on the pass and step forward, because you take the same passes he threw this year, comparing to the same passes they threw last year, it just looked different. He didn't get the torque on it. He tried. He just could not create that force and get his weight going forward. Too many falling weight going backwards throws. And then it just, when something goes right as a quarterback or anything, you start pressing. You stop trying to make plays, and you start trying to not make mistakes. And that's what he did. And then that's when you make more mistakes. You start seeing those Sam Darnold ghosts that he saw a couple years. You start not being able to move in the pocket. You start looking down at the rush, and it snowballs. And it snowballed on Garrett Nussmeier this year. And it snowballed on everybody for the LSU offense. So, absolutely. Does he have the most to prove? In our eyes, certainly.
Yeah.
He's got the most to gain from this week, so I can't wait to watch it.
It's not just us. Like, I do want our listeners to know that. Like, this isn't just LSU Homer shows.
Yeah, we just had a Florida guy come
LSU Homers.
Say that.
Andy Staples.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andy. Works on 3. Does a great job. He said the same thing. And scouts that I've talked to have said the same thing. Like, and it doesn't matter which team. Like, Drew Fabianich, I'm sure will say pretty much the same thing. The guy who runs this game, because of where his draft stock was before last year to kind of where it fell to, like where there was times where you were wondering, is he going to be draftable? Because the bad habits that you create when you're trying to do all the things that you had to go through, like you just kind of laid out there. So with a slight quarterback class, when nobody really knows who the number 2 behind Fernando Mendoza is it Ty Simpson? Trinidad Chambliss could maybe be, but he wants to go play in college.
I know. Well, you look at Ty Simpson's not here at this game.
Yeah.
So that does tell you that somebody has given him some advice about where they think he's going. So that should be all you need to know about where Ty Simpson's going to fall. Maybe not in the draft order, because I don't know how many first-rounders are in this class.
Yeah.
But where he's going to go in the quarterback list, at least. He's got to be, I would think, the second guy or the third guy, depending on what happens with Trinidad. Who knows? He needs to probably stop fighting that guy. Good fight.
Well, yeah, because Drew Fabianich did save a spot for Trinidad Chambliss, but now the game started, so like
just go play in the NFL.
Yeah, you could go play in the NFL, but he wants to play in college.
It's kind of the dream. It's kind of what you work for.
Kind of the ultimate goal. What about a guy like Carson Beck? Like, did you think he would maybe be here at this game?
I think he's an interesting option. I'm not a pro. I'm not a scout. When I think of the name Carson Beck,
you do have a notebook though. Mouth breather?
Mouth breather. I'm thinking, this is just a guess, and I'm basing this off of absolutely nothing. Round 5.
Okay. Just because of the ebbs and flows, ups and downs, peaks and valleys, whatever you want to say about it.
Well, look, I think this is a draft class where there's a couple of guys at the top, but then I think there might be this gap of like a quarterback drought in this draft. 4th, 5th, 6th round. I don't know where he's going to fall, but I don't think he's not a guy that you're going to take right now to be a starter.
Right.
He's a guy that I think you take and good backup, maybe turns into a starter when he gets his opportunity. Can he make it worth it? Type of guy. I don't know. And I base that off of absolutely nothing. I don't know what the draft stock is. I don't know what scouts are saying. We can certainly ask around though. We're in the right place.
We got our ear to the ground.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
We're going to be able to know all the things by the time we get done here. All right, there's multiple LSU players here, and hopefully today the goal is to talk to at least one LSU player. Yesterday we had a couple of quarterbacks. We had Joel Thomas, who's actually going to be the head coach for the American team here of the New Orleans Saints, coaching staff there. You didn't see him. Well, you saw his back. You didn't see his face, but he gave some great information.
We flipped the desk today, so all of you, the people that are tuning in and watching on YouTube.
Flynn and Alondra did.
Yeah, you were doing nothing. The talent. We're not going to give anybody the option just to put their butt in the camera.
That's true. If he stopped by today, he would have to.
He'd have to work for it.
Should we make him stop again? He gave good stuff.
Can we see your face?
Yeah. Maybe we can get Tulsi to stop by as well. We were talking to him yesterday. We'll make him get on camera again today.
Yep.
There's 7 Saints coaches here, so they are well represented. And throughout the show, like we did yesterday, we're going to kind of go through, okay, who do we think? Like Jacoby Lane was the guy from?
Jacoby Lane?
What school?
USC.
Yeah, look at this guy. Are you kidding me? Look at this guy.
Don't ask me anybody else.
I'm not.
Jennings Dunker, Iowa.
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
Well, I fed that one to myself.
You did. But you're still 2 for 2. You got it right.
Thank you.
So we'll talk about who the Saints could be looking at, considering they have so many coaches here, boots on the ground in Mobile, actually coaching the game, sitting in meetings with these players. We'll take our first break. More OTB when we come back here live from Mobile, Alabama.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
All right, go to Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys at getgordon.com. When you go to getgordon.com, always remember you can have a chat with them right there on the homepage of the website. If you want to see what they're doing in the local community around you in Louisiana, go to social media at getgordon is always going to be the handle. And I'm going to assume they're going to have some new members of the G team coming up here pretty soon. If you want to give them a call, right, a little old school, you're going to pick up the phone, right? Have a conversation.
What? With your mouth?
Yes, with your mouth and not texting someone. You can do that. And that is your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
So at getgordon.com, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. We've seen all the work that Gordon McKernan does in the community all over the state. We see the work with the G team. Can't wait to see that new G team after the transfer portal. But at the heart of everything, they are here to fight for you. If you've been injured, whether it's on the job, whether it's in a car accident, whatever, call them. Let them fight for you. Get what you deserve. GetGordon.com.
My girl just caught me. You made her catch you? I don't know how I let this happen. But who? The girl next door, you know? I don't know what to do.
Off the bench with Hester and Flynn. Live from the 2026 Panini Senior Bowl in Mobile. Presented by First American Bank and Trust.
Picture this when we were both caught making love on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had given her an extra key? All this time she was standing there. She never took her eyes off me.
Oh, you think the woman access to your villa? Trespass on a weakness, all of your clean on your pillar. You better watch your back before she turn into a killer. Just review the situation that you caught up in. To be a true player, you have to know how to play. If she say a night, convince her say a day. Never admit to a word where she say. And if she claim a you tell her, baby, no way.
OTB here live from Mobile, Alabama. Alondra, what was it you were just saying?
I was going to ask Matt, Kevin Coleman Jr. Wait, his mic's not on. Kevin Coleman Jr.
You just don't want to turn my mic on today.
Sorry. Because you put on your headset so aggressively loud.
Wide receiver, Missouri.
Where was he before?
Oh, shoot. Louisville.
Yes!
Let's go. No big deal.
Yeah.
I got
Also
two.
Jackson State, Mississippi State.
Yeah, I know.
My God.
Definitely remember.
Yeah, he's been everywhere.
Don't unpack the suitcase. All right.
Well, he's here now. It's there in Mobile.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Look at you.
Kevin Coleman.
Yeah.
Well, KC.
Where'd Keon Coleman go to college?
Yep. Yes.
You know this. He's from Opelousas, Louisiana.
Yeah,
he
I do know
started
this.
college at.
I do know this. We'll tease it for next segment.
You definitely won't Google that.
Do you think the owner of the Bills knows?
Yeah. Michigan State and then Florida State.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
For Keon.
I wouldn't have got there.
Yeah. No? Okay, at least you're honest.
I don't read the back of the sports cards. I just look at the pictures.
And that's how you know where somebody went to college. I can appreciate it.
What are you talking about?
I can appreciate
Did
that.
you just... Nothing.
No, instead of like knowing where they played.
Ah, got you.
Like,
I thought you were saying that's where you know where I went to college.
Oh, no, I know where you went to college.
Okay.
Oh, Louisiana State University. It's the only place that you went. You didn't go 4 places. Anywho. The rosters are a little bit different than maybe we thought, and we still got to get confirmation. And so when Drew sits down with us like in 5 minutes, because there was initially 5 LSU players, now
Right.
the list is down to 3. He did say that they had to change a couple of flights.
Yeah, I think 150.
Yeah.
Which
Everybody's
is a real pain in the rear, and I'm sure it costs a little bit of money to do that.
Yeah, and he mentioned that, but it's not just players. There's a lot of people trying to cover this game that have always been this game. I know, like our guy Chris Doring, like he was on flights all day yesterday that just kept getting canceled and canceled and canceled. He was trying to go through Charlotte, from Gainesville to Charlotte, Charlotte to Mobile. We did have Andy Staples stop by before the show. We were chatting it up, who also lives in Gainesville, and he's like, "Yeah, I never fly. I always drive to this game because by the time you go from here to there to back here,
you probably have to go from Gainesville to Atlanta, then Atlanta to Pensacola, rent a car, and then drive.
You can get into Mobile too if you wanted to. I mean, the airport's about the same as Pensacola.
I think everybody I've talked to though said they flew into Pensacola.
A lot of people have, but also Neuheisel flew into Mobile last night.
Oh, look at him.
Basically, Andy was saying Doring's bougie, and he should have just got in the car and made the 5.5-hour drive.
Yeah, no doubt. That's an obvious move, though.
Yeah.
I mean, anything 5.5 hours.
I mean, it's like
same
for our
travel
listeners
time
to go down to 30A.
Okay, yeah. So maybe if it's you're going somewhere, if the airport's close to you and it's a direct flight, but if you got to connect, you ain't getting anywhere under 5 hours.
No, that's why like we would never fly to this event because it's a 3-hour drive, but we would have to go from Baton Rouge to Atlanta to Mobile, or Baton Rouge to Dallas to.
You got to calculate everything. You got to calculate the drive time to the airport. You got to calculate the time you got to be there before. You can't just say, "Well, it took off at 5 o'clock and I got there 3.5 hours later." Nope. Sorry. When did you leave your house?
And that's why the New Orleans Saints are so well represented here at the Senior Bowl, because they are drivable. They're the closest team, and I know this game has talked about moving for a couple of different years, but for the Saints, it is very convenient, and that's why they have 7 coaches going to be coaching for the American team. We talked about receiver yesterday for the Saints. What other positions do we think maybe – I mean, this is a deep edge rusher
we know
class.
It's an edge rusher class. So I think that is when we go out to practice today, the thing that I'm most excited to watch is one-on-one routes. So receivers versus DBs, and then the quarterback throwing, of course, and then one-on-one pass protection.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see these offensive line go against the defensive line. So that's where people – I think those one-on-one reps is at a position like rusher or – offensive tackle, I think that's where you can move up some rounds. Just because, this guy looks the part. I've seen him play. I've seen him do it on film, but you don't really know the competition. Well, you got the best on the best here at the Senior Bowl. So if you dominate and you come out looking like an alpha, like you're going to turn some heads. And when you have GMs and scouts sitting there on draft day looking at that best available, looking at all the big boards and everything, those one-on-one reps stick out to you, certainly. It's not like how you played in the game. It's not like, well, he graded out at 83 at the Senior Bowl game. No, it's like, was that guy a dog?
Yeah.
Did he whip somebody's tail one-on-one? So I can't wait to watch that. So, certainly edge rusher for the Saints would be – I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum. Like, besides quarterback, there's really not a position that you couldn't use a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
But certainly edge rusher would make a huge difference. Another lockdown corner would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But
certainly with
line,
not knowing what's going to happen as far as free agency with some guys.
Yeah.
And
Jennings, Dunker.
Where Alante Taylor falls. As far as edge rushers, a couple of names that I think a lot of people will know. T.J. Parker from Clemson, somebody that's talked about a lot. Logan Fanu from Utah. Dennis Sutton from Penn State is somebody that had a lot of fanfare coming into the season. Romello Height from Texas Tech is also another player that had a really good year and kind of, put his name in front of a lot of college football fans. So those are some edge rushers to pay attention to. I'm going to give you I say a small school, but he's just a group of 6 guy. At DB, you mentioned corner, Chris Johnson from San Diego State.
Okay.
That's somebody to kind of pay attention to. I think he is a really good player, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he competes.
That's a sicko pull a little bit.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing how he competes here at the Panini Senior Bowl. So if you're watching practice, look out for Chris Johnson from San Diego State. All right, we are going to step away because Drew Fabianich, the executive director of the Panini Senior Bowl, is going to join us when we come back right here, live from Mobile, Alabama, brought to you by First American Bank and Trust.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
All right, look, I know the weather's a little cold out here. All right, I know it's cold. But inside, when you turn your heater on, it's going to be warm. And what do you put into a warm hand? An ice cold Dos Equis.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe 2. I don't know, depending on how frisky you want to get. So it is always, even in the cold weather, a great time to go for Dos. So it doesn't matter if it's a ball game, practice, like whatever, like you got your feet up and you're watching it, enjoying it. Do it with Dos Equis. Go for Dos.
That's right. Go for Dos. The most delicious beer. We had a couple of Dos Equis yesterday, enjoying a little dinner last night in the cold weather. I had a couple of Dos Equis. So if you're going to do it, make sure you do it responsibly. Maybe with the cold weather, maybe it's time for try the Amber Especial. Delicious. But they, as always, the delicious ice-cold Mexican lager with a delicious fresh sliced lime. Make sure if you are going to have a party, if you're going to do it, drink the best. That's Dos Equis. Drink responsibly. Dos Equis.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn. Live from the 2026 Panini Senior Bowl in Mobile. Presented by First American Bank and Trust.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB here live from the 2026 Panini Senior Bowl, Mobile, Alabama. Of course, our trip brought to you by First American Bank and Trust. And look at Drew. Drew hit the button with his cord. Oh, Drew, that was Drew.
That was a good one.
I'm going to let y'all know that was
Can
not
we do that
me.
again?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, there we go.
We got all kind of buttons.
Thank
Drew
you.
hit it with
Nice.
his cord. I mean, you want to talk about fitting in with the right crew? Just start playing with the buttons on the board like Flynn and I try to do in remotes.
It's the way to
all
our
the
heart.
time. Well, that's Drew Fabianich, the executive director of this Panini Senior Bowl. Drew, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Glad to be here. It's chilly outside, but going to warm up a little bit later for practice.
Yeah, I heard it's going to be like around 48 to 50 right in there.
Which-
in the wind, yeah.
Wow, that's
Been in the low 20s.
heat wave.
Yeah, like 20 this morning.
But as long as it's not raining.
as long as it's not raining and the wind won't be blowing like it was yesterday. You know,
I was kind of hoping it was so I could just go heckle the quarterbacks, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh. You just
you
wanted
would-
to be
you
a
would-
running practice.
you would be heckling them. Yeah, because like Matt will tell you, you better make sure to tip down on that one.
Yeah,
Exactly
we talked
right.
about it in the first segment, like how do you throw the football in the wind here?
Tip down.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Kind of speaking of that, so what a week this is. This is a year's worth of preparation, all wrapped into 1 week, and so you're kind of like the man of like. How much sleep you getting in right now?
You know, actually, it's not that bad.
Okay.
I mean, I've got a great staff, and that's part of the thing that people don't really realize. We've got 8 full-time people, 9 including me, which handle most of the operations piece of it, and then we've got myself, my director of ops, and plus 2 scouting assistants to handle the football side. Plus we got 10 area scouts, sparkled all over the country, and and again, you don't know that. So again, like I came in and checked on the interviews last night, and everything was running smooth, and I was like, I'm out, because I was here from like 5:30, and I was like, hey, it's 9:30, I'm done, And
You switched the schedule up a little bit this year,
Yeah,
right? So practice
absolutely.
is going to be a little bit later than it normally was.
well, that and you'll find out in about 25 minutes, the players are going to start interviewing.
Yeah.
The interviews used to be at night. They were at night last night because there was no practice yesterday. So
Right.
we had some community service things that we did,
Right.
and which went off really, really well. But what I did is doing that, I had to push back practice. which asking the network and asking ESPN and the network, the NFL network, it pushed into primetime. So they were like, "Oh, let's go!"
Yeah,
I mean, because they're going to make more money on the advertising dollars for the the commercials. You guys know, you're in media now. So that wasn't an issue. The issue was that I didn't want these guys to be tied up like they were, because they were interviewing from 7 o'clock, 10:30 every night.
Yeah.
And now they have the downtime. As soon as we get done with the programming after their meal, which is minimal, like it'll be Merrill Lynch, it'll be the Panini night, and all that. But they'll be done like about 8:30, 8:45. They'll have some downtime.
Yeah.
They'll be able to recover. They'll be able to go to the training room. They'll be able to take care of their bodies a little bit more. And that's what I wanted this to be about. I wanted it to be about the player.
Right.
And, we pushed it back, and it also made it to where the community can actually get there. If somebody works till 5, they can at least get an hour of practice and bring their child. And that's something they couldn't do before.
Right.
Because practice used to end like at 4:30. That's it, But then, the problem, not the problem, the issue I heard from the agent was that, the player was like nonstop from like 6 o'clock all the way to 10:30. And it was hard on them. So I wanted to make it better for them, but it made it better for everybody else, too.
Right.
So I was like, all these guys just walking past going, "Hey, I got an evening. I can actually go to dinner now." I was like, because normally it's run down to Joe Cane's or Chick-fil-A and, run back over here. But now there's a lot of changes. But I think it benefits everybody. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, you had some logistical challenges this week. That's probably the source of having an extra cocktail or two.
We monitored it so closely. And we were sitting in the office last week, me and Jack, and he goes, he says, supposedly they're getting ice. I said, no, they're getting ice in Dallas. Yeah. And I said, and I live there. And I said, we need to get them out now. And so we started on, can we get the hotel rooms? That was the biggest piece, because we didn't want to bring them in and have nowhere to put them. So we scrambled around, got rooms, did all that. And when it was all said and done, we had about 86% of them in here on Friday. And now we're only missing one player, and we're at a full roster. Over 125 flight changes were made. And, felt sorry for Jack because he was kind of helping the travel agent. I was like, dude, you can't do that job too. I was like, but he was doing a great job. And, again, the logistics were just awful. But got the coaches here, got the players here, and the weather's getting better and better. Hang around long enough, Matt, it'll maybe be 60 on Saturday.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know down here. I mean, coming off the water, it changes.
That's right.
How many LSU guys ended up? Because I know 5 initially. I think 3. Correct?
I think 3. Yeah. I think
in the final roster it was
2 receivers, right?
Yes.
And
Anderson, Brown. Then you had Nuss.
Yeah, and Nuss, because we lost the other ones because of injury.
Yeah.
I mean,
and AJ Halsey and Jack Pyburn.
Yes, and trust me, if you knew Jack Pyburn, and the way he is, that he wanted to be here.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to push anybody, especially if they have some kind of medical issue.
Right.
Because if they come down here, I mean, you can get embarrassed down here.
Oh, yeah.
if you're not.
You get exposed fully healthy down here. So
yeah.
Certainly.
Well, I was going to say, you've seen the guys that, hey, may have been small college guys or may have been that fringe guy that did get embarrassed down here. But there's also those guys that elevate themselves through the roof.
Sure.
And I think there's going to be some of those guys that elevate themselves through the roof down here.
Give me a small college guy, maybe somebody that's under the radar, because we were actually just talking about it right before you came on. Somebody that you're looking forward to seeing against, Power 4 guys each and every day in practice.
Probably Ted Hurst, the receiver from Georgia State.
Yeah.
I think he'll surprise. The Demings kid from Stephen F. Austin. Him and Malik Muhammad are a lot alike.
Yeah.
Just different resources, different schools. Right. I mean, he's going to show that he belongs. The Montgomery kid we picked up, from the American Bowl. God, what a strange story, but a great story. I mean, Division I basketball commit. Yeah. Showed out down there, and everybody told me, hey, you need to take a peek at this kid. I mean, because we didn't look at him. Ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Didn't look at him until he was down there. Then I had access to the tape, and I was like, yeah, this guy belongs,
Yeah.
And I was like, again, he didn't play because his mom, was ill. He didn't take the basketball scholarship, ends up going to John Carroll, Division III school, blows it up. I mean, And we'll see. I mean, I think he'll show he belongs, and I think people will be really surprised. I really do. Trying to think of any other ones.
I went with Johnson from San Diego State.
Yeah, but I don't consider him kind of a sleeper because
Right.
he's actually got some really good tape, and all the personnel people know him.
Yeah.
You know, the Stephen F. kid, I mean, it's like, I don't know how he stayed at Stephen F.
Yeah.
I mean, because if I would have been a general manager, I'd have been, yeah, you're not staying there. Let's go.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
Let's go.
Drew, kind of a loaded question here, but
Come on, man.
yeah, let's go.
Damn.
I mean, it's already 7:40, Drew.
Yeah.
You had your coffee already.
So I know
Drew.
that like all the stages that these kids have to be on. Like we talked about it yesterday. Like everything that they do from here till next September is about making a football team, and
Absolutely.
everything they do is a make or break situation, from how they talk to in these interviews, how do they act in the meeting rooms, how they perform in individuals and one-on-ones, team drills. Everything that they do is about not getting cut or not getting. So Joel Thomas yesterday, one of the coaches here, coach for the New Orleans Saints, kind of said in these interview processes, of course, we're looking for that one thing that they say that makes them stick out in a good way, but we're also looking for the one thing that might make us take somebody else. So of all the things that they do, is there anything that sticks out to you that might make somebody slide or elevate themselves more?
You know, I think that, again, this is the NFL wants this to be part of the process, and it is. The draft does start, and won't be the last time they put on the pads, right, against the best of the best. That's what they want. They want to see you compete against the best of the best. Bottom line. And like you said, if you don't fulfill the pieces of the process, whether it's the interviews, like you said, being with the coaches, being on time, being accountable, being mature, showing you're a professional, you know, if you don't do that, then the check marks go away.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they want the check marks. They want the Senior Bowl. They want you to go through the interviews, practice, play. Bam, bam, bam. Right? They want you to go to the combine. Bam, bam, bam. Right? Pro day. Bam, bam, bam. When you don't do the process the way the league expects you to, it's going to throw red flags up, and it's also going to say, and here's the biggest thing to me, how do you prove that you love the game? Right? Because you guys know you've been in the locker room. You've been in an NFL organization and in that building. If you don't love the game will, I mean, the building and the players will eat your ass alive.
Yeah. no
Right?
doubt.
So, again, if you can show that you love to play, at least you got a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and that's because people, and I always, the quote, it wasn't a magic, you know, answer question or whatever, but I'd ask coaches, does he love to play? Oh yeah. And I'd say, can you give me an example?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If it took 2 minutes to figure out an example, you know, that was not real, you know.
Yeah.
But a coach is never going to say, you know, oh, well, he kind of likes it, you know, but they're not going to say that. Now, a guy did tell me that a long time ago in scouting. He told me this guy's in it for the money and everything else, and guess what? He busted.
Yeah.
You know, which was nice because I had a contact. I mean, we went way back, but normally they don't tell you.
Yeah.
They don't. So to answer your question, the biggest piece is how can I show that I love to play and be a professional?
Right.
Bottom line. That's how simple this is. If you don't go through the process, it hurts you. There were some guys last year that didn't go through the process and did not take it serious, did not do it the right way. And guess what? They kept sliding in the draft because buildings aren't comfortable with guys that every time you go, or here's the other thing. The NFL wants to tell you no.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And guess what? You let them say no, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Then you get cut. Or you don't even make it there.
I would say that's probably like the majority of scouts' job is to find reasons not to draft somebody.
Absolutely.
And then if there's somebody that makes it through and he's got no X's near his name, that's when you start getting serious about taking
Absolutely.
It, right?
We used to say the higher you take somebody, the cleaner they have to be.
Right.
You know, and that's bottom line. I mean, and again, I can punch holes in anybody, okay? But can I punch holes in somebody's character if they got really good character? No. I can punch holes in their game.
Right.
Sure.
You know? But here's the other thing. I think a lot of players' character shows up on tape.
Yeah.
And people don't grasp that until you watch enough of a player. Not highlights. I'm talking about game tape.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you'll see a guy take a play off here and there, or you'll see a hair on fire guy. You know,
Yep.
you'll see that's the first guy in, last guy out. You know, you can just see it on tape. I mean, you can. So just like 18.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get an 18, guess what?
Yeah,
you've already proved it.
Well, yeah, that's perfect for our last question.
Good
'cause you
luck
can't
punching
even have
holes in
that.
our game.
That's right. All right, we got about 90 seconds left, Drew. The last guy to wear number 18 at LSU, Garrett Nussmeier.
Correct.
It was like a giant week for him. The junior tape's incredible, over 4,000 yards in the SEC. The senior tape, played through injury, system didn't work out, did not have the year by any means that he was hoping to have. Does he have the most to gain maybe here at this year's game?
I would say yes. And just because, again, here, and I'm gonna throw the media under the bus on this one too. Wasn't he like the second-rated quarterback in the draft? Wasn't he like mocking like at pick 6, 7, 8, whatever?
Certainly first round.
Okay, now all of a sudden, you know, he's roadkill. And like you said, I can't unsee what I saw. Like you said, 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns. I mean, there was no way I was not going to invite Garrett to this game.
Right.
Because they didn't protect well. He was hurt. The receivers, you know, the half of them didn't produce like they were supposed to.
Right.
Couldn't run the ball. I mean, there's so many things that went against him. Well, when you're evaluating a guy, you go, why? You know, why are the whys this happen? Well, he's going to come down here, and I'm going to say this flat out. The media will be talking about him at the end of the week, going like, you know, he could possibly get back into the first round. No kidding. No kidding. Because the traits are already there. The production was already there. You know, and now it's like, oh, well, you know, he got beat up. You know, well, they didn't play well.
Yeah.
Was it his fault?
Right.
You know, if you watch enough tape, you know it's not.
Yeah.
But, again, a lot of people don't watch tape. They just talk.
Yeah.
You know, so, and again, I pride myself on doing that. And put it this way, I invited him in August. Now, I didn't put the official invite out there.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, because I can't.
Right.
But I told him, I said, look, you're coming to Mobile.
Yeah.
And then, you know, midway through the year, people were going like, you still bringing Nussmeier? You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure am.
Yep.
You know, sure am.
I love that.
We're good. Drew, we got to go. You're the man. We appreciate it. We'll be here all week, so looking forward to hanging out, seeing you practice today.
Hey, I'd like guys, enjoy yourselves, and hopefully the weather will get warm enough or we won't be freezing a little bit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Let's heat it up.
Pleasure having you guys.
All right,
Thanks for
more
being
OTB when we come back here live from the Panini Senior Bowl.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
All right, go to RussellPools.com, the website for Russell Pool Company. Now, we always tell you, I mean, if you want your dream pool in your backyard, in your space, they are the go-to. Remember, you can check out a gallery of work on their website, RussellPools.com, and they've been doing it here in that Baton Rouge area for such a long time. They are the standard when it comes to pool design and pool construction in Baton Rouge, and it is a one-stop shop from the beginning, in the middle process during construction, the end, of course, and then afterwards with the maintenance as well. Go to RussellPools.com.
Yeah, Russell Pools, RussellPools.com. The name you think of when you think of the highest quality custom pools in Louisiana. Give them a call if you've been thinking about it, putting it off. Okay, I get it. It's freezing temperatures right now. You might not be thinking about doing a cannonball right this second, but that hot weather's coming, and you know, so start that process today. If you can dream it, they can build it. So go check them out, RussellPools.com.
Hey, Dirty, what? Look at that girl right there. She make me say,
Now, back to Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn. Live from the 2026 Panini Senior Bowl in Mobile. Presented by First American Bank and Trust.
All right, welcome back in OTB. We are live here from the Panini Senior Bowl. Of course, our coverage brought to you by First American Bank and Trust. How you waving at there, bud?
Nuss Bus.
Say Nuss Bus. How's it going, bud? My back's turned, so I can't see him. I'm giving him the backwards wave.
Kind of a little awkward with the backwards.
Well,
back turn.
Alondra just fixed the cord. The cord was tangled up a little bit during Drew, and I felt like I was like in just a screwdriver type position, like just like I couldn't turn.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Nobody holds fullback one down.
No.
Like a cord.
Well, yeah, because I was about to fullback one, rip it out of this thing. Me, not like
technology.
cord.
Headphone. No work.
I don't see any fullbacks in here, though. Weak. No grit in this room right now.
They must be getting interviewed.
They're still getting
First up.
They're still getting their measurements, actually. They couldn't believe them. So,
Speaking of measures, 5'9", 7/8".
Yeah, Diego Pavia yesterday.
The most
here.
famous height in America.
It's
right
the only
now.
one I saw yesterday. From
Oh,
seriously,
yeah.
like it's the only one I saw from any media outlet, and he did just walk by us and.
All of it.
5, 9, and 7/8. You said
7/8, very specific.
Any time that you throw the 7/8 out there,
It's not good, but
just like when I ask you how tall you are, and you always say
6'2" and 1/4.
exactly.
Yeah, but so back
you want to be 6'3".
Back in our day, they used to measure by the 1/4 inch. Now they're going by the 1/8, which is a little rude, I feel like.
Okay. Well, people tell me, like, I measured 5'11" at the combine. I don't think I'm 5'11". I think I'm 5'10". So I tell people 5'10". I don't give them any
You gotta
5'10"
go
and
by,
a half. I don't.
You don't believe the measuring tape?
Well, I feel like I shrunk after so many ISOs.
Okay, that's
the
fair
NFL.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might need to go see a chiropractor for that. Nah.
Badge of honor. Badge of honor.
Quarterbacks measurements. Taylor Green, 6'6".
Yep.
Yesterday.
How's the air up there, Taylor?
Yeah, seriously. Sawyer Robinson, 6'3" and a half. Luke Altmaier, 6'1" and 2/8. Some would say 1/4. Garrett Nussmeier, 6'1" and 0/8.
That's good for him, though.
Cole Payton, 6'2", 3/8. Diego Pavia, 5'9", 7/8. It's a weird 8. The eight thing is weird. Like if they went by the 1/4, he'd get rounded up there.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll catch up with one of those quarterbacks here in hour number 2 of OTB.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Well, there's a lot of youthful spirit here in this room right now. Reminds me of myself 18 years ago being in this very hallway, going into these very meetings. But when I try to do what they do now, it's not the same. Until I went to rejuvenemedical.com.
There you go.
Location that's going to be near
found
you in Louisiana. No matter where you're listening to us, it doesn't matter. From top to bottom, everywhere in between. There is a location in the state of Louisiana that's going to be convenient for you. We passed through Mississippi on the way here. They got one in Mississippi.
Not a big deal.
As well. Go to rejuvenemedical.com.
Yeah, go check them out. If you want to feel young again, you want that youthful energy, that drive every single day. Men, we're talking to you, hormone replacement therapy. Go check them out. Louisiana's leader for the last 10 years. They got a location all over Louisiana. So go check them out. Medically approved. rejuvenemedical.com.